Hey, Mike. Kind of wanted to change up again because I had all this information that I've been hearing, but I mean, it's a lot to kind of take in. I kind of want to
Yep.
get someone else's perspective, just as a
Sure.
sounding board. But before we start, of course, although I work very happily for Velocity Mortgage Capital, all the ideas and topics discussed on this channel are that of my own. So, um, I mean, telltale signs of similar figures that are coming out,
Hmm.
pre 2006, mortgage meltdown
Yep.
that's happening now and almost at a higher degree. Recently I read something about, an uptick in foreclosures on
Sure.
FHA loans, um, the highest that they've ever seen in a month since they
Hmm.
started recording that metric, right? In
Yeah.
addition to that, I think I heard something about VA loans, a huge amount of foreclosures recently just because they did away with a particular program to allow, veterans that were underwater to restructure their loan. I think down to
Sure.
like 2.5%, something like that. But they did away with that program without any really explanation. So left like 40 something thousand veterans and,
Yeah.
something
Limbo. Yeah.
right. And so, man, that combination, combining with again last year's layoffs that haven't really hit the market yet, severance and
Credit
and all that.
cards and student
Oh, credit card
loans and
balances, record
yeah.
highs. I heard about people tapping into their 401ks at a higher like
Record
higher
amounts. Yep.
right
Yep.
before pre-pandemic, and they're taking penalties. So,
Yeah.
bro, and some people are taking cash advances on their paychecks because they can't, you know what I mean, make ends meet, and so and then they take bro, these signs are a little concerning. So I don't know. I'm trying to be not a doomer, but I'm
Right.
also, my eyes
Yeah.
work.
Yeah. So we have to break all of this down because if you look at it at the headline numbers, it is extremely scary and nerve
Mm-hmm.
wracking. And you should always be concerned. You should always track this. But let's go FHA first because I don't know if people realize this, but for essentially 2.5 years, you almost couldn't lose an FHA home. They just wouldn't foreclose on you. They would.
Right.
I've known people to go back 3 and 4 times for loan workouts. It was just a complete game. So what I would tell you with FHA specifically, I don't know VA, but I'm going to assume it's similar. But I've researched FHA.
Right.
We essentially didn't do any FHA foreclosures for, let's call it, 3 years. And you're a kid of the 80s and 90s like me. We're basically the same age. And you remember when you were outside playing with your garden hose and spraying your buddies and all of that stuff. And what would happen when you crimp the hose? Right? The water would stop,
Right.
but the pressure would build up, and it would build up so much that you eventually had to let it go. And seemingly for the first 10 seconds, water would come out with a greater force because it was just built up in that little kink in the hose. So what's happening at FHA, and what frankly is just started, I'm here to tell you it's about to get worse, is we're going to see a probably hopefully a once in a lifetime pop in FHA foreclosures, notice of defaults, actually completed short sales, and the like. But it's not as concerning as the headline would make it, because again, we didn't foreclose for 3 years.
Hmm.
So the unfortunate reality of life is foreclosures are normal. Even in the best real estate cycles, we have foreclosures. So if you essentially stop foreclosures and then you train people that this is a reality, you're going to get more and more people to game the system. And now they're just too far gone and they can't make it up. So, yes, we are going to have lots of FHA foreclosures. Frankly, we should have had lots of FHA foreclosures already. I believe what's going to happen is just like that garden hose for the first couple of quarters, it's going to appear like it's jumping off the chart, and then it's going to roll over once you've got it back. If you want an example of this, look at student loans. Student loan, like if you look at the chart, student loan, credit cards, auto loans, homes, student loans were up here, then they fell and they were basically flat when Biden said, nobody loses this or that. And then once it came back, it shot up to the highest ever. That's just the crank in the hose. Just like student loans were flat, artificially flat for a year and a half, and then they shot up to record highs. It's because you let go of the crimp in the hose. So we should expect this with FHA. Is it a problem? Short term? Yes. Is it a sign of 2008 on repeat? Of course not. Of course not. This is not 2008 on repeat. And anybody who thinks it is has PTSD. We just stopped the pressure for 3 years. The pressure built and it built and it built. And now we let it go. And there we are. So that's FHA. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I could see what you're saying to some degree. I'm thinking to myself, who's holding the hose and why? Are they,
The government.
loosening and tightening? Um,
They had those. The crank in the hose is that FHA program you were talking about, the one
right,
where they just turned it off, and the
right.
program was great.
But now the explanation of the program, but the need for the program or the utilization of the program would be the lack of funding or, I mean, finances as far as like
Well,
making, you know what I mean? So
it
that could
certainly
all kind of stem
started
from
there.
that.
Like
Right,
like most government programs, it started with good intentions.
right,
This particular program was frankly too loose and went on for too long.
right,
It probably went on for a year longer than it should have.
right.
Um, but now we just got to pay the price. Dude, there were online forums with
Hmm.
people telling you how to game the FHA system. Oh, I've
Mm.
lived in my house for 3 years and never made a payment.
Right,
Well, guess
right.
what, sucker? The party's over.
Well, in that case, if that's where the line is being drawn, then I can obviously see that, yeah, there's going to be that initial uptick because all those people should have. So my concern was more so that, hey, they're just kicking the can down the road. People can't make any, ends meet because unemployment, so on and so forth. So, you start seeing all the
Yeah,
numbers because
there's
again,
certainly some of that, but again, it's one guy's opinion from looking at lots of data. I'm going to guess at least half the people were gaming the system, right? They could have paid, but chose not to.
I could see a good amount of people
Yeah.
doing
And now
that
they're going to pay up.
because
Yeah.
yeah, but then also like I don't know, man. I try to look at the outlying, information that sometimes other people are missing trying to
Sure.
measure certain metrics.
Sure.
In the demographic of people looking to get FHA loans in the
Yeah.
type of occupations that they're normally,
Sure.
doing, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think those most were hit by the last round of layoffs as far as like, UPS or even the
Yeah.
tech or Amazon, delivery, this or that,
It
that's
is so let's talk about it. Let's talk about layoffs next.
yeah,
Um, this if you really step back and look at it. The layoffs that like Block laid off 40%. UPS had a second layoff. eBay had layoffs. Those layoffs are frankly too soon to show up in foreclosures, right? First off, a lot of these layoffs come with severance. That severance is between 3 and 6 months. Next up, it takes minimum of 90 days to get an NOD. It takes another 3 months to go to foreclosure. So we're a year away from seeing any pain caused from these recent rounds of layoffs. And again, people on unemployment, it's taken about 10 weeks to find a job. So again, we're talking roughly 3 months. Now, are the jobs equivalent? I doubt it, but it's a job. So again, the unemployment rate's still about 4.5. I do not think the labor market is nearly that strong. I think it is much weaker than that.
right.
I actually think what you're seeing now is layoffs are causing two things. One, more inventory, because again, a lot of people that are getting laid off have equity, right? We have record equity.
Right.
So if you get laid off and you have no other pile of money, you're just going to sell your home. You're going to scoop that. You're going to go rent for a while and move on. So I think one of the reasons we're seeing inventory rise is layoffs. And then second, the other thing that's happening is layoffs are causing people to pull back. Not necessarily the people that got laid off, but it's the fear of the layoffs. And that's why demand is off. The Iran war, AI layoffs, that is causing the spring selling season to be weaker than ordinary should. So we're seeing layoffs do two things: one, increase supply, and two, reduce demand.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of fun to play that what if game, or not even what if, but like what's causing kind of this stuff. But we've had a lot of conversations off camera, where my concern was basically the job market that kind of
Mm-hmm.
was for me at least the driving
Sure.
force over everything. So Um, yeah, they talk about, real estate demand has gone down the last couple of months. And so, yeah,
Yeah.
the combination, I think with everything, geopolitical events, people a little nervous at the war, that increases,
Inflation
energy
risk
prices,
coming. Yeah,
right? You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
all of
It's
this just kind of, yeah,
it there is very little reason to be optimistic today. The headlines are scary. But what I would tell people, again, as somebody who's studied daily economics for 30 years and actually is researched back to 1970, so now that's 76 years of experience, I would tell you that this is a great time to be a buyer. What do I mean by that? Everybody's scared. Everybody's nervous. Demand is falling. Competition is falling. Motivated sellers are increasing. So, what I would tell an investor today is write better or more aggressive offers. I'll give you an example. Let's assume you found a property that you thought was worth 400 after you repaired it. And let's say you could buy it for 300 because of condition and all of that and the seller just wants out. In a market like we have today, 300 is not good enough. I want you to be stupid aggressive and go 280, 275, maybe even 255. Because again, in a market like we are in today with no guarantees and who knows how long this takes, and you can only do one deal a year, you might as well make it a banger and not settle.
right.
So use this chaos, this sense of dread and doom to your advantage.
I could see that. I mean, again, with fear in the market, people tend to sometimes panic, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I'm seeing a lot more listings in my neighborhood specifically, and I don't
Okay.
know if just people are trying to
And you're in
time.
Texas, right?
I'm in Texas. I'm near Austin, so
Okay.
the
Yeah, yeah,
the
Austin.
market's
Yeah, yeah.
softening out here due
Yeah.
to increased inventory, lack of demand. Um, it's kind of interesting. Yeah, resale home prices are actually less from what I'm seeing than brand new construction.
Okay. Okay.
So I don't know if that's just and a lot of that I think were from people who bought in the first, couple of phases at,
Yeah.
prices that were still, like you said, they got equity kind of locked it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
so
I think there's people that are scooping equity. And again, if you lose your job and you don't have a big savings account and you don't want to tap your 401k, you're going to sell your house and you're going to be more mobile. So it makes
right,
sense.
right. No, the timing is right. At least for like, hey, trying to catch a falling knife, so to speak, because property
Yeah.
values have been diminishing, but right now somewhat steady. So this is a good time to kind of, if you are going to sell,
Yeah,
but
I would tell you, I mean, the biggest point about all of this is I would much rather be a buyer than a seller today.
oh, 100%. Oh, this market is ripe. If you really want to be out there, I mean, like I said, panic, people start or fear, I should say, people start to make certain moves that they wouldn't normally do. So in
Yeah.
some cases, from an investment standpoint, you can take advantage of that because you can really make some
You
obscenely
can
low
lock in some
offers.
amazing deals.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
With everything that's going
You,
on,
you,
and it's all reality stuff. You don't, you just gotta find
yeah.
that motivation. But
Yeah. One part of the market we haven't talked about that I'm watching closely is actually
mhm.
what's called private credit.
Yes, yes. I
That,
mean, we kind of compete with that market to some
yeah,
degree
I'm very
because
sure you do.
our
Yeah.
loans are similar as far as the ease of use. But no, we're seeing definitely a tightening in that market as well because we're seeing an influx because
Yeah, of course you are.
what they used to go to for them, they're coming to us now because they're either tightening their guidelines altogether, not doing them
Yeah,
anymore, period,
exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, I
Yeah.
saw that in one of your previous episodes. I was wondering about that as well, but I had all these other things going on, and I wanted to kind of discuss that with you, just to kind of get your
Yeah.
perspective because I lived through that. And when you say PTSD, not so much
Ooh,
that I
yeah.
have PTSD that I saw the signs and it's like pattern recognition. You know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
Mike? It's not like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
PTSD so much like emotion. It's like I see numbers. I can read. You know what I
No,
mean? And it's
yeah.
like so.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, that was such a traumatic event and we saw people lose millions and millions and lose homes and relationships destroyed, businesses closed. It was horrific. And you know, it's probably a good thing that you remember that, because you won't do that again, right? You'll remember what you were
What
doing and
not
all
to
of that.
do. Oh,
Yeah,
agreed.
exactly, right?
100%. And I think that's where people in the past, people didn't really see the signs, or maybe they ignored them, or just didn't really put much, thought into it. But now, this again, pattern recognition. Now it's like, hey, I saw these signs before and I didn't pay attention. Should I start to kind of like notice certain things that before, like, no, what I mean? Kind of almost hedging and projecting, or being
Yeah.
proactive, right? Making certain moves and positioning myself. Now knowing
But
what I
yeah,
know from last time, that's all.
that's why I want to be a buyer in this environment, because as this thing unravels, and heaven forbid this war goes on for months, which I
Mm-hmm.
hope it doesn't, but if it
Mm-hmm.
does,
Mm-hmm.
it's just going to get better and better. It's just going to get better and better to be a buyer,
Yes,
because there'll be
agreed.
more
To be a
people
buyer,
scared.
and to
Yeah.
kind, yeah, man, that's why, good thing you got your little thing on the screen. School, leveling up,
Yeah.
right? Getting educated about this, because man, knowledge is power, and getting positioned to take advantage. When the market kind of really allows you to, just timing, like anything in life. But if you're not prepared for that
Yeah.
time, you could miss the opportunity. You know what I mean? So
Couldn't
level up, have that,
couldn't agree
and when
more.
that time comes, boom, you can execute. You know what I mean? And really know what's going on. So, but otherwise, yeah. If you ever have any other, scenarios possibly that we can discuss, just shoot me an
Yeah.
email down there at sdow@velocitymortgage.com. In the subject line, please put the acronym ORAAT, just so I can find you much quicker in my whole tsunami of loans sometimes I get. Otherwise, body of the email, property address is going to be super helpful. Maybe at least city and state to make sure I lend there. Um, mid FICO score, best phone number to reach at, and typically 48 to 72 hours. I'll be in touch.
There you go, folks. Again, 50, 40, 10, fast 50, all kinds of great loan products Stephen Dow does. Reach out, sdow@velocitymortgage.com. Thanks for what you do, buddy. Take care.
Thanks, Mike. You too. Have a good weekend.